Welcome back to Once Upon a Sister. I'm Faith.
I'm Rosalie.
And we're your hosts.
This week, because we're filming this on the 1st of July. You're listening to this on 4th of July, so...
Happy Independence Day.
Happy America Day. What was I saying? Okay, so because it is like...
Halfway through the year.
I know we're in the 7th month now. But we thought we would do like a little mid-year check-in, just kind of like talk about how our year of reading has gone so far, get into some specific books, and just like go through. I found a tag, so we're gonna like go through those questions and just kind of talk about how our reading has been, because I don't know, it's fun to just chat sometimes about some random stuff. Yeah, but before we do that, we will get into what we have been reading. So what have you been reading?
So last week, if you listened, I was talking about how I've been in a reading slump, which just really sucks. Like, it's just sad. Like, I've been thinking about it. I'm like, I'm sad
because you think back to like what it used to be like.
I know. I'm like, I love to read. Like, why can I not? Like, nothing is making me want to like open up my book. Like, I loved Shield of Sparrows, but like, I was more.
I feel like there was a drive for that because you knew you had to read it for book club.
I still was enjoying it, but it was like it wasn't like. I wasn't thinking about it all day long when I couldn't read, and so I was like, I don't know, you know when you have like a good book and you're like, oh, I just miss reading. So last week she was like, maybe you should do a reread, and I talked about maybe doing Fourth Wing, and then like, you were like after we recorded that, like we went to go sit on the couch and read, and I was like, all right, let me figure out what I'm gonna read, and then I just got this like yearning for ACOTAR, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna, because I was gonna wait until the fall, but I was like, let me just do it, and yeah, it's working. Like I finally, like, even though I've read it before, only once, it was a year and a half ago that I read it for the first time, it's like almost new in a way. Like, yeah, I know what's going to happen overall, but like when you read a book, you kind of remember the key moments. And so like now I'm kind of like getting to relive it and like remember like, and almost like I don't remember little moments that happen. So I'm getting to experience
I feel like you just remember like, oh, the big events and like especially the ending or stuff, but like there's so many in between and just like scenes of them just, I don't know, existing and like leading up to those big scenes that you just forget all the little details.
Yeah, and we're gonna eventually do an ACOTAR episode so I can like say what I want to say in depthly because I don't want to give spoilers, but there's a whole plot point. There's a whole plot point to the beginning of the second book that the first time around I was like annoyed with, and then I grew to be okay with it. But like I feel like I missed things that I would have enjoyed otherwise. Like I would have loved to like actually pay attention to those moments. So now I'm like kicking and giggling my feet, like just So I'm almost in with A Court of Mist and Fury. Like I'm like at 90%. So I'll finish that today and then start Wings and Ruin. But yeah, I'm just having a great time. I haven't decided if I'm gonna read Silver Flames yet, just because I really.
I don't think you should.
I just don't like Nesta. I might just listen to it. Like, you know what I mean? But I struggle with Nesta. But no, the other day I was like, I almost texted you. It was so stupid. Like, sometimes you forget something. And then I was like, if I had texted you this, you would be like, Faith. Because I was like, what book is it where there's like a girl and she like gets taken from her bed and like two other girls get taken too. And they wake up and they have to go against all these men and they have to like compete. And they like, but they don't have their powers with them. And I'm like, what is this? It's when it's in the Silver Flames because Nesta's training with the Illyrians. It's like the Illyrians like right thing that they have to do. But like I couldn't remember Nesta's character did that for some reason.
Way long ago too. Like months ago, you asked me something. You're like, "There's some book where this girl has to find like this crown and this sword."
Yeah, it was that.
And it was so.
And I think it's because like I struggled with Nesta so much. But I think maybe like on a reread, I could like same way like I could appreciate for like more than her character type thing.
That's why I love Silver Flames, just because the story and like the fantasy aspect. Like I don't think Nessa's my favorite. I don't have as much contempt for her as you do, but she's not my favorite. But like, I loved that book because like ACOTAR was our first fantasy and like all of it was so good, but like I feel like Silver Flames was a little bit different in the fantasy aspect and like it was introducing me to more.
Yeah, it was deeper. It was I would say Court of Silver Flames is more on par with Throne of Glass.
Yeah, so I think that's why like I really enjoyed that because I was like getting a taste for like what else fantasy would have to offer. And, like I didn't like, that's the thing, I don't want people to think I disliked the book. I was sad because I love Feyre and Rhysand, so like I didn't want to go to a different point of view. And also it was hard to switch to
third person. Sarah J. Maas writes third person really weird, which we've talked about. But anyway,
that a million times.
That's what I'm currently doing. The reread is helping. I
knew it.
It's making me want to reread Throne of Glass. So I might do that later this year though. But yeah. What about you?
On the same train of rereading. I don't even I didn't even decide to do this because you did it. I don't know. It was just like, you know when you set your book down and like you're trying to figure out what you're going to read next and something just pops in your head. And so I had finished whatever. I think I had finished Sunrise on the Reaping, which we'll get into that next week because we're going to have a whole Hunger Games episode. Anyways, I finished that and I was like really scared to be slumped out because I enjoyed that series so much. And I was like, I don't know. I was like getting stressed because like I don't know what I'm going to do. And then I got on TikTok and like the first TikTok I got was about the Addicted series. And I was like, okay. My brain just decided in that moment. I was like, okay, I'm going to reread this. And so I picked it up and I'm already on the 4th book in the series.
Are you going to do everything? The Calloway Sisters or whatever?
I'm on the Calloway Sisters right now.
I don't know how it all works.
It's like Lily and Lo are the Addicted series, and they have Addicted to You, Ricochet, Addicted for Now, and then it switches to the Calloways, which follows Kiss the Sky for Rose and Connor, Hot House Flower for Daisy and Reich, and then you go back to Lily and Lo for 2 more books, and then you go back to the end of the Calloways. But it's like, it's technically all one series, but for some reason they have 2 different names. Like, I don't know. I don't know why they just didn't name it the one thing. Anyways, I'm just zooming my way through it. And I was a little scared that it was going to be hard the second time around, if I wasn't going to love it as much. But I'm just loving it just as much as I did the first time. Yeah, I was
scared about that with ACOTAR, especially having read so much. Because that was my first, adult fantasy book. Which was eye-opening for me, realizing okay, this is my genre, which I've talked about before. But I was scared after having read so much fantasy since then that in a reread, would it hold up the same way? And it's still top for me. It's still so good.
And that's why I brought up the conversation to Faith about I remember such key moments in this whole series, but just especially this one, because it is very much character driven and you're just following them through everyday life. There is so much that I don't remember through just their little interactions and what happened this day, what happened that day, and I don't know, I'm just loving it so much, and I'm so
oh my gosh, and I feel like I'm paying attention more to Morgan and all that stuff, because I feel like there's little things that I didn't pay attention to, and I'm because one of real quick, one of the things about Morgan is we don't know her power. We've never been told her power. When this character gets introduced, we don't know her power. We just know she's powerful. And so I'm
you're starting to see.
Now every time they say any inkling, I'm jotting it down, because I'm I want to figure this out, because I'm sure in this 6th book, she'll give us more there. I don't know. It's just very I feel like it's fun doing a reread. I haven't I've talked about how I'm doing a reread of the Percy Jackson series, and I did Hunger Games last year, but that's a reread of books I read as a kid, where this is a reread of books that I've read recently and loved, so it's different. I don't know.
Yeah.
And it feels similar as watching a movie for a second time, or a movie that you love, still, or a show that you loved, where you there's little details that you forgot.
Yeah.
So.
Anyways, other than the Addicted series, I am also listening to, because I'm kind of just reading it. I don't know if they have audiobooks, but I don't really want to. I just kind of, I don't know. I feel when it comes to my favorite books, I do just want to be able to sit and read them. So alongside that, I've been listening to Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Bastone, which was actually on my summer TBR. So I'm finally getting into a book from that. But this is, this follows, oh my gosh, why can I never speak? This follows Lenny, who has recently just lost her best friend. And she's kind of just in the not necessarily denial phase, but she's going through the grieving process and doesn't know. She's kind of flitting around and just trying to keep herself occupied. So she's keeping herself occupied by doing these baby getting SIGs and nannying.
Babysitting gigs. Baby getting SIGs.
Babysitting gigs and nannying and just working is how she's keeping her mind off of it. But she gets her recent nanny position, and the girl she's watching, her uncle lives downstairs, so he's constantly coming up and interjecting himself. And over the course of time, they find out that, or he finds out that Lenny has a to-do list of like her best friend wrote this list for her to live again after she died, which is like so sad. But he's like, okay, I'm gonna help you through this because he's also experienced grief and like loss. So it's like so emotional, but it's also just, I love it so much. And I knew I was gonna love it because I loved Ready or Not by Cara Bastone, but I'm just enjoying that one a lot too. And the romance is really good, and her just like the journey of her going through her grief is, the audiobook is really interesting because the way the audiobook narrator does it is like, it feels like I'm literally just watching a YouTube video of someone talking. I don't know, because I feel like when most narrators narrate, it's like they follow the sentence structure, but like I literally feel like I'm just talking to her like on a podcast, like I'm just listening to her, like,
that's interesting,
which gives it such a like real life feeling, which makes like which makes the grief part of the story kind of hit harder in a way, I feel. But anyways, I'm really enjoying that, and then also loving the Addicted series. So after that long-winded talk, what have y'all been reading?
Anyway, so mid-year check-in. We have some like question prompts to follow, but we kind of want to like keep it chatty, so we may not get to everything. We'll see.
So first, I kind of wanted us to touch on like our reading goals and where we're at and how that's going.
Yes.
So what was your reading goal?
My reading goal is 100 books, and I have read, let me open it back up, 55 books.
Over halfway?
Yeah, so I'm like 6 books ahead of schedule so far. I was like, before my reading slump in June, I was like 12 books ahead of schedule, which I feel sad to have lost that much progress, but I'm like, at least I'm still ahead of schedule. Like, that feels better than being behind.
There's so many, like, I feel like I see so many times people talk about they set their reading goal and then they'll change it constantly throughout the year versus like based on like how fast they're reading books or stuff, or like if they're falling behind they'll just set it back, and I'm like, what's the point of setting the goal? Like obviously the goal isn't like, oh, we need to read all these books, but like it is just kind of a fun little side thing. But in my head I'm like, I'm not going to change my goal. Like I mean, I guess if you need to do that just so you don't feel like discouraged.
You raised your reading goal this year. Last year you did 100 and you like
so last year I did 100 for my reading goal, and then I beat that by a long shot. I think I read 140 books. So this year I didn't want to like put myself too far ahead, so I put it at 115 just because I mean, you never know, and reading slumps, you don't know when they're gonna happen. But anyways, I read 84 books which is crazy because like if you, what's the math on that? 84 divided by 6, that means like 14 a month, which I don't know.
Pretty accurate, yeah.
It's just crazy. But I'm 73% through, and I'm 27 books ahead of schedule. And then my Fable says I'm gonna finish in like September, which
when I had my reading, like in April I read 15 books, which is my highest month so far this year. My Fable was telling me that I was gonna hit it in like October or something, so I'm like, I don't know, hopefully I can get back up with it. I think in June, like I think I only read 5 books, but I did better than I thought, because like at 21 days through June I was only 2 books in, so like I read most of them right there at the end.
But also it's funny because I feel like this whole year both of us have had this thing where at the end of the month we just zoom through our books. And I don't know what it's not like a conscious thing of us being like, okay, we need to sit and like it just happens, I guess.
Honestly, I could have finished A Court of Mist and Fury last night, which would have given me 6 for the month, but I was so tired, and my husband was he was like on a trip, and he was gonna get home from the airport at like 2:45, and he didn't have his keys, so I knew I was gonna have to wake up to let him in, and he was gonna want to visit, so I was like,
at like in the middle of the night.
No, I know, that's what he does. my husband works nights and he gets home at like 3:34 a.m. and he'll want to, sometimes if I'm awake he like wants to talk. I'm like, dude, let me sleep. But I knew he was gonna want to visit for a little bit, so I was like, let me go to sleep. It was like 9:45 and I was like, I'm tired, I'm gonna go to sleep, because I know if I'm tired now, like, and I continue to read, I'm gonna
be so tired.
But I just, sorry, I'm like such a good part in Court of Mist and Fury. It's so good.
Chapter 55 or whatever.
I already read that last night. Well, chapter 54 is
I know, but well,
55
chapter 55 is, sorry, just skippable one.
The way we got silent there is because we just mean like it's when everything comes to a head and we're like, oh, okay.
The content in that one is not stuff we read anyways. That's where we're at on our reading goals. I think it's been good so far. Like each month, I feel like I haven't really hit a slump.
Yeah, this is my first slump. Like it's been perplexing for me, but I know that I've had like a heavy year.
Yeah,
and so I feel like it was like bound to come.
But you also were still reading. I feel like.
Yeah, I didn't fully like stop, which is good. But I was gonna say earlier, which I didn't. I was like, I'll need to save it for now. Is with this reading slump, like most of what I have been reading has been audiobook. Yeah. Because I have been slumped out. Like I've just been doing audiobook. And so finally, like now with reading ACOTAR, like I've been physically reading and actually wanting to physically read, because I feel like I haven't been wanting to physically read, and that like has been making me sad in and of itself. When I don't want to look at my Kindle, and I'm like, this is making me sad that I can't even hold my attention.
That's what I was listening to one of the What She's Reading episodes. Like I think it was their last one, and Michaela was talking about how she was struggling because she's been in a spot right now where she's only been doing audiobooks, and it's making her like have a bad taste in her mouth about reading, which I understand. Like there's been times where I get more reliant on audiobooks, and then I start to feel like ugh, like I just want to. Which is how I've been feeling, I think.
But then I haven't been reading anything that's been like really holding me. Yeah. So I think like honestly, if you're going through a reading slump, do a reread of a book you love, because this is actually really helping me, and it's
and now we can say that, because I feel like we had said something about that in one of our first episodes.
What do you do when you get a reading slump?
But we've never had the opportunity to test it out, but now you know.
Yeah. So it's been really nice, like to just sit there and read. Look, we've been renovating our bathroom this year, forever long, but like we finally have like the tub and shower part done, and so we got like a specialty tub. It's like 22 inches deep. And so I've been like taking baths every night, and so I've been reading ACOTAR in the bathtub, and I'm like, it's just so nice, my little Kindle, my little nice tub now. Like I don't know, it's just fun.
Light some candles or something.
I need to get some, but yeah. Right. So it's fun, like physically reading again.
Okay, we have some questions. I don't know if we're gonna get through all of these or what, but the first one is the best book you've read so far this year.
Okay.
I feel like I have a couple in my mind, and I don't know how to decide.
Let me scroll back to the beginning of the year and just take a gander. I feel like I should have pre-answered these, but I kind of wanted it to be like a, I don't know.
Top of the... Off the top of your head?
Oh, I got it.
What?
Onyx Storm? Yeah.
That's what I feel like that was a contender, but honestly, I feel like...
or Fearless.
Fearless is over Onyx Storm for me for some reason.
I love them both. I wouldn't compare one to the other.
There's something about Fearless like being the last one in the series.
That's true.
But also, I think my contenders are Fearless.
Sunrise on the Reaping. Okay. Fearless, Sunrise on the Reaping, and Onyx Storm for me are like my top.
Yeah, I think mine are Fearless or Catching Fire.
That's a good one.
I love Catching Fire. Okay, that's another thing. I feel like we should rank the books.
Oh yeah, when we do our episode.
Anyways, let's not talk about that now because it's not.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like
I don't know. This is really hard because, like we've talked about it before, we don't like hate on books, and we like we tend to rate higher than most people. I feel like.
But I think that's also because, I don't know, like, we're very much mood readers, which I just don't know how it works if you're not a mood reader.
Yeah.
Like, people who set TBRs, like, are you sticking to those and that's why you have low? Or, I don't know. Maybe you just pick up, I don't know. Maybe we're just good at picking books for ourselves.
Yeah, honestly, I would say definitely Fearless, Sunrise on the Reaping, and Onyx Storm are, like, up there.
Yeah.
And I'm honestly so curious to see how that answer changes when we do this, like, in the end of the year. Like,
it's going to be interesting.
Like, what... I'm just curious, what are we going to read in the next 6 months that are going to be, like, top contenders for us?
Or, like, new series we'll get into. It's always fun. Anyways, the next question is the worst book you've read so far this year, which is a hard one for us.
I feel like I know my answer just because I scrolled just a second ago.
What?
Yeah, I know what it's gonna be.
What?
The Crash by Frida McFadden. That one was a hot mess. And this is earlier. I was like, oh, I want to tell you something. And then I was like, wait, let me save it for the episode. I feel like Frida needs to stop pumping them out so fast, because like we've read some of her books and like they were so good to me, but then like now I feel like the past couple ones she's released, I'm like, whoa, girl, like these are losing their spark. Yeah. I don't know. She's pumping them out so fast. The Crash, That one, like, I had to push myself to get through, and then I was just like annoyed. Like, if you've read that one, tell me what you thought, because that was so annoying, made like really no sense. And like the whole time the main character, she's just like whiny and like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to explain it. I need you to read it just so you can
I don't know if I want to. I haven't been in a thriller mood at all.
Neither have I. I was reading thrillers quite a bit there.
You were.
And now I've just, but I think that it's because I'm getting a little bit burnt out on Freida McFadden. Like, I think I need to do somebody else.
Branch out, yeah.
That's what I feel
like everyone says.
I have like 2 or 3 that keep getting like, I put them on hold forever ago on Libby.
And you just keep pushing them
available. They keep pushing them back because I haven't been in a thriller mood. But
yeah,
definitely The Crash for me.
I think it's hard because I don't necessarily have a book that I was really upset with. So, like, I'm just going to say Funny Feelings by Tara DeWitt, which we both read. And, like, I'm not saying it's a bad book. I was going to say that one, too. But I just think it was probably my worst read because I just literally didn't care by 50%. And I finished it, but, like, I just didn't care. And
it didn't intrigue me very much. Like,
I liked the premise, and then it just fell off for me.
Fell flat.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it, but, like, when... I'll just say that's my worst because that was the experience I had with it.
Yeah. Okay.
It kind of sucks, but anyways.
Best sequel you've read so far in 2025?
Sequel? Does that mean like the second book, or can it be?
It just means like any continuing book in a series. I feel like
are we allowed to
say the same man?
Are we allowed to?
Onyx Storm, Fearless, and like Sunrise on the Reaping?
Are we allowed to do that?
I don't think sequel means second.
No. Are we allowed to do duplicate answers, or should we try to?
Well, it says best. I don't like.
No, I know. I'm just saying. Do we want to try to?
But those are my answers.
Okay, well.
Because I mean, all the books that I rated 5 stars just happen to also be sequels. But I mean, they're the best. They fit in the same category. So.
Yeah, the mine are the same.
Well, the next question is, what's the worst sequel you've read? Which I don't know. I gotta look.
And like I say, worst loosely.
Yeah, because that's the thing is we're not haters over here.
We are to something. So, I feel like I'm gonna go with As Good as Dead.
Really? Wait, is that the last one?
Yes. Just because
it was heavy.
It was heavy, and I just didn't love the direction it went. Like, I loved it still, and I loved the characters, but it honestly wasn't my favorite, like, the direction she took. But it's still...
Yeah, I feel like she went totally different than the other books with that one.
It still hit me hard, though, but, like, I can't really think of any other book where I didn't... Like, that's a very loose, like, worst. I can't.
I think I'm going to say... Oh, for sure. War Storm by the Red Queen series. I really was expecting more from that, and I talked about it when I was reading that, but yeah, that was not the way I would have ended that series, and like I still think about like how much it annoyed me, and I think I need to just read the last little novella thingy, but it just like...
Why do you have to read
I shouldn't have to read a novella to get a conclusion on this couple. Like,
yeah.
If you're not like heavily involved with like romance, or like it's not like your main, like for us it's like
we enjoy the romance part of
like
fantasy.
If it doesn't have romance, like we probably won't pick it up type readers. But
or if it doesn't just have something,
like it needs to have a little inkling. But like I'm like, so it ending the way it did, I was like, are you kidding me right now? Like, yeah, that book totally fell flat for me, and so I'm gonna say that is my least.
Yeah.
What about you?
The next, what?
You already say yours?
Yeah.
It's okay. I forgot.
Okay, the next one is newest release you haven't read yet but want to, which I can't think.
I feel like I didn't look at these questions beforehand, but Silver Elite is on that list for me.
Oh, I guess it doesn't have to be a second in the series. I don't know why I thought.
No.
Yeah, I really do want to read that one. I can't think if there's anything
new release you haven't read yet but want to. Yeah, I really want to read Silver Elite. I don't think there's anything else I've been.
Oh, one that I've really been wanting to read, which I talked about. I think it's in my summer TBR, Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonham Young, which I literally have it on my shelves. I just haven't gotten. It's just like, you know, when you have a plan.
Did you find it?
You think what? No,
you're
thinking Out on a Limb.
I keep mixing them up.
Yeah. I had bought that book and like I was like, oh, I'm gonna read this soon, and then I just started so many different books and like
it just happened.
Literally wasn't planning to pick up Addicted, and now I did, and I'm locked in for 10 books. Like,
yeah.
At least I'm listening to audiobooks, but like it's gonna be a bit before I get to anything else. But yeah, I really want to read that one. Also, I was watching someone read it today. Like, I was watching a YouTube video, so I'm like more excited for it. So I think it'll be soon, but I haven't read it yet.
Yeah, I say Silver Elite, but honestly, the longer it's been out and the more like reactions I've been seeing, I'm like,
I feel like I have no interest anymore.
I feel like I'm losing interest, but I can't think of anything else that I don't know. I don't like. What do I have on my want to read? Like, that's a new release though,
yeah,
because
I feel like
like
your biggest.
I really wanted to read the. What's it called? Little Sparrows. That was like the other one, but I read that. Oh, yeah. You know what? Direbound. There you go. That I've talked about that. It's on my summer TBR.
Oh, who was that one by?
Sable Sorensen. That's the one where I was like, I don't know what it's about. You know what I'm talking about? That reel we made. Yeah, this came out in end of February, and I still haven't had a chance to get to it, but I've heard that it's really good.
The Twisted True.
Yeah, I haven't got a chance to read it. Twisted Trust.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I want to read.
Okay. This one I feel like it's going to be a little bit hard. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year.
I will say for me, it's going to be
Accomplice to the Villain.
Just because I really love those books. They're just so much fun. Like, I'm so looking forward to. Also, is this the last one?
I think there's 4.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Accomplice to the Villain. I sound like I said accomplish. Accomplice to the Villain, which is the. Oh my gosh, you have a whole little. Countdown for books.
So I have a countdown app for just like life in general, but now that I'm into reading and
she's writing like
I'm like excited for books, I put my books on the countdown app for like new releases.
That's
so like I can see it on my phone.
I know there's a lot, but like for me, I feel like I've most been like so excited for Accomplice to the Villain.
Yeah, I think that one. Also, Wildcard by Elsie Silver, which I think is the last one in the Rose Hill series. Really excited for that. Oh really excited for that, but also Fearful, which is newly announced. We knew she was gonna write another novella.
Lauren Roberts. We're talking about Lauren Roberts.
She officially announced the name, and it's coming out on September 2nd.
Happy birthday to me, almost.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one, but also, I don't know.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else.
Also, really, there's so many.
Yeah,
I'm really excited for Lila Sage's Soul Searching, which comes out. It's
gonna be like a little different than her.
It's gonna be different, but I feel like I'm also intrigued. Yeah. Like I'm excited because it's Lila Sage, and like both of us love her books, but like it's also different, and we both haven't really read. Like it's gonna be a romance, but it's also like ghost town. Like are they ghost hunters?
I don't know anything about it.
I can't remember, but I'm excited. But yeah, I feel like Accomplice to the Villain is one up there for me. Like, it's probably most.
If you haven't read those books, you need to read them. They're
especially
so
because
much
we're probably gonna do.
Yeah, it comes out in a month. Like it's like August. I texted you earlier, 5th, right?
August. It's the September 25th.
Why did I just think that it was August? I just looked it up earlier.
Unless they changed it.
Well, we'll see. But yeah, whenever that book comes out. It says August 7th, right?
When did that happen?
Yeah, they must have updated it. Okay, so right now Goodreads is saying that it's going to come out August 7th. So if it is, expect that to be our August book of the month. So
this is your warning now to read the first 2.
And these are so fun. Like, they're lighthearted. Yeah, they're fantasy, but they're like not regular fantasy. They're like lighthearted, and there's no spice. I feel like, and like
I would compare them to Ella Enchanted.
Yes. That's what I thought about that, and I completely forgot. Yes, if you like Ella Enchanted, you will like books. Assistant to the Villain.
Yeah.
Read the books. They're so much fun. I can't wait for the next one. Ugh. Because, okay.
I feel like I might reread.
Yeah, I think I'm going to reread. It's very slow burn. Like, slow burn. Like, we're still slowly burning.
We're still in the burn.
And so I'm like, I think she put a TikTok out where she was like, when you're writing your first like kiss scene or whatever, and everyone's like everyone's freaking out. It's like the 3rd book, and but it's like she does like it's not. It's not like where it's like annoying. It's like she just does a really good job with these books.
There's other things going on, and it's like slow burn, but like you still see the care they have for each other.
They like care for each
other.
other.
The tension too, and like it's not like it's slow burn and they're ignoring each other. Like they're very much like constantly around each other, and he's very much like so in tune to her, and
so good.
So good.
Okay.
Now I'm like more excited.
I know.
About it. 86 days or longer, but whatever. Okay. Next question is biggest surprise of the year.
Does that mean like
it could be good or bad? It could be
like about like something that happened in a book, or like how you felt about a book, or like
I guess I didn't think about that.
Like what were you thinking it meant?
I guess I was thinking like a book that I didn't expect to love.
Oh.
But it could be anything. Like it could
like I expected to love the Red Queen series. Yeah, I did not expect for me to feel that way at the end. Like that really surprised me because like I heard so much good about that.
I felt like you were so excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think another like a big surprise, whatever, is that like we started doing fantasy and like we actually like this year we our first. Both of us started. Did I say fantasy? Wow. Thriller.
I was gonna say
yeah. We started reading fantasy.
Now?
No. This year we both started thrillers. And that was kind of a surprise, I feel like, because I never would have expected us to do that. And that's been fun. But I was going to say, like, a series that I didn't expect to ever read, which, like, ended up being loving it, was The Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Like,
yeah, that one.
I never expected to read those and just dove through them.
Yeah, I, like, same for me with, like, the Renegade series.
Oh, that's right.
Did not, like, I thought I might enjoy them, but I didn't expect to love them as much. Also, okay, I feel like I know my biggest surprise of the year. And, okay, I have been saying that I wasn't going to like this book, and I'm never going to read it. And do you know what I'm talking about?
No?
It's not on here right now.
Okay.
What's a book that, like, I always said I was never going to read because of what happens in it?
Magnolia Parks.
No. That too, I am enjoying that. Anyways,
wait, give me a second. I want to... You said you were never going to read it.
Because there's a trope in it that we both don't like.
I feel like it's not Magnolia Parks. Because that was
You've read this book.
Oh, okay. You read it recently?
No. I think I read it last year.
And you liked it?
Well, I haven't talked to you about it yet.
Oh, okay, then what?
It's Happy Place.
You read it?
Yeah.
When? Okay, that's why I couldn't guess, because I didn't know.
Well, because I haven't, like, told you. Not that I'm like, I'm not telling you Faith. But it just hasn't come up yet.
When did you read it?
So I started reading the Addicted series, and then I needed an audiobook. And I guess I had it on hold, and I didn't remember putting it on hold, but it came available, and I was like, okay, I'll just try. Because I love...
Emily Henry.
Not everyone does, but like I really enjoy Emily Henry books, and I just didn't think I was gonna like this one. Faith didn't like it, and usually we have the same opinions. And I
didn't hate it.
No, I know,
but
you just didn't love it.
Yeah,
but you also just don't love Emily Henry, so I think that's just like how it's gonna be.
Because I didn't love Beach Read. I didn't love Book Lovers. The only one of hers that I like really enjoyed was People We Meet on Vacation.
No, but I really liked hers. But I was just like not interested in this one because of the second chance, and I actually tried to start it like long ago, but anyways, it just randomly became available, and I was like, okay, I might as well, because I don't know, I don't want to, like, I read all of her books, what's one more? So I just read it, and like I actually really enjoyed it. And yes, I don't love Second Chance, but I don't know.
I also feel like it might depend on like when you read it, because that was one of the, when I was trying to get back into reading after my slump, that was like the first book I read, which was not what I needed to be reading,
especially like for what you like.
Yeah, because like I don't enjoy that kind of like, because it's like a second chance, and like I feel like for me, I love seeing like them fall in love, and like you didn't get that.
I do too, but I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of slowly starting to like it in some forms, but I don't know. I really enjoyed it, and also just the setting. I always love a setting in Emily Henry's books, and then I don't know. I just really enjoyed it, so that was a surprise. Because in my mind, I was dead set on never reading it and never liking it.
That's funny. So now you're gonna add it to yourself?
I think probably. I mean, I don't know. I actually really do like Emily Henry, but yeah. So that was one of my surprises. Anyways, next question.
Wait, real quick. I think it's funny because when I think about Emily Henry, like I read most of the books that I read of hers when I first got back into reading in 2022. And like I literally couldn't tell you which one's Book Lovers, which one's Beach Read. Like, why do they all have to do with books? For one, like Beach Read, Book
and each
Lovers.
cover, there's
reading
a book on all her covers.
I'm like, I don't know who's what and who's where. Like, so I cannot remember. Like, I know one of them, like, they're both authors, and like he's writing about something super creepy, and like
that's Beach Read.
That's Beach Read. Okay, yeah. Like, and then what's Book Lovers?
Honestly, I'm struggling to remember. I can remember all of them, but that one for some reason is escaping my brain. So maybe I'll
like a
reread
bookstore setting.
What?
Is it a bookstore setting? Like,
I'm pretty sure that one's about like she's in New York. That one's the one where her sister's name is Libby, I think. And
she like goes to a small town and she's like,
yeah, and then she hears the guy talking at a table. I think his name is Charlie. And he's like a book publisher or something, or like editor or something. And they're like kind of rivals. I don't know. I might reread that one because I can't. That one I struggle to remember.
Yeah. He's a good editor. And like he like presents himself as like a rough person, but then he like lives in a small town. He's like actually a sweet guy. But like, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, now that I think about it, I'm like, I didn't hate it, but that's not like my bread and butter. That's not where I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh, like ACOTAR level. You know what I mean? So
that's just how fantasy's gonna be for you.
But like, but all her covers like look the same.
I like them. I like it though because it's like consistency. Like it's an Emily Henry book.
But I don't know, something about the titles Beach Read and Book Lovers, like they just sound too similar to me. And I'm like, which is which?
I feel like she started to get like a funny story. Happy Place, Great Big Beautiful Life. Like she started to venture out there a little bit.
How many books has Mom read of hers? Just Great Big Beautiful Life?
I don't know if she's read anything else.
Oh, okay.
At least just that one.
Okay.
Next question is favorite new author, debut, or new to you?
Interesting.
I'm gonna say. Honestly, I'm gonna say Daphne Perry.
Oh yeah,
this is the first year I've read anything from her. I read her romances and her fantasy. Okay, I'm not maybe not favorite new author, but really good new author. Like, she really wrote that fantasy well.
Yeah, she did really good. I really enjoyed that book. I haven't read anything else by her, but I know you did, right?
I read 2 of her romances, and they were really good as well. But her fantasy writing is just really good. Yeah,
as far as like new authors I've read this year, I'm gonna say it's probably Daphne Perry, because that Shield of Sparrows, like, I wouldn't say it surprised me. I expected it to be good, but I think it was surprising in the fact like she's never written a fantasy before,
she's
so
a romance author.
People weren't sure what to expect from her for that, and so that's where I feel like people were surprised.
Yeah.
Also, what new to me like is Alex Astor, which is she wrote Lightlark. I really am enjoying those books. I don't think I'll really like her because she just released like a Summer in the City. It's like a romance book, like a regular romance. I probably won't like that based upon the comments I've seen people post about it on TikTok. Just as like,
also you're just not,
it's got tropes that I don't love, and like, yeah. But as far as like Lightlark goes, I'm really enjoying it, which is also surprising in its own level because it is a love triangle, and I hate love triangles. But this, I don't know.
Sometimes the book just makes you forget.
The book is good enough. I really want you to read them because it has an interesting.
I know
world.
They keep coming available on Libby, but
I know
the mood has to come first.
The world is very interesting, so
I'm gonna mention another author, B.K. Borison. She wrote the Heartstring, where is it? Oh my gosh. You read this one, the First Time Caller.
Oh,
I actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You enjoyed it?
It was good.
But I really enjoed it, and I really like her writing, and I'm excited.
I like her covers too.
She's releasing the new one sometime. Oh, it releases next year, but I'm really excited for that one too. Anyways.
And there also a new one to both of us was the Divine Rivals by Rebecca
really
Ross.
Good.
We both really ended up loving those books.
I want to see like if she has any other books or if she's releasing anything, because I haven't really.
Yeah, I've never
looked into Rebecca Ross.
Yeah, it looks like she has some other stuff she released in 2022. Oh, yeah, she's got a bunch of other books. Maybe she's worth looking into. What was next?
Newest fictional crush.
I don't know if I have any like new, because that means like stuff that we started reading this year, right?
Yeah.
I don't feel like I have any. I don't know.
Okay, this was already kind of a fictional crush, PETA, because I've seen the movies, but now that I've read the books, it's just so much different. Because, like I said, like you get to see you get to see more of him in the books. So I feel like that's reignited my like.
I feel like of everything I've read this year, like new. That's the thing is like yeah, obviously I love Kai from Fearless, but like that's not new to me. Yeah. Like I've read those before, other ones before. So like I feel like Sunrise on the, no, hey man, sorry, Shield of Sparrows. I was trying to say Shield of Sparrows. Yeah. What's his name?
The Guardian.
Yeah, the Guardian.
Yeah, I liked his character. He's up there.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know. I don't really like I have any other ones. Like I'm trying to think of like books that I really liked. Like I really liked Lost and Lassoed, but I don't know. It's not like.
But like you have to be obsessed with the man.
Yeah. Yeah. So for like new books, I would say
they're hard to come across.
Yeah, The Guardian.
Next we have a book that made you cry. Faith has only one answer.
One book has made me cry this year, and that would be Sunrise on the Reaping. Woo! That book wrecked me, dude. Wrecked me. Yeah. And I've said before, and I think like that is why I've been in a reading slump. Is I read Fearless, and then I read Sunrise on the Reaping, and like I don't feel like much has compared since then. Yeah. To read those back to back to each other.
You read them really back to back? Like
literally back to back. I read Fearless, and then I immediately read Sunrise on the Reaping. So like now I'm just like, gosh. I feel like that was kind of set me up for failure. But
I once again can say The Hunger Games. I was crying my whole way through that series, but I want to kind of switch it up a little. I think other than that, the book that I've cried the most to recently is going to be Rewind It Back.
Wait, I did cry with Fearless.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. Rewind It Back, which is the last book in the Windy City series. I mean, I just cried because Liz Sumford makes an emotional romance anyways, and like those characters always got some backstory going on. But also, it was the last book in the series, so it was like the ending. Emotional, because you're saying bye. But, yeah.
Yeah, we talk about it, but I'm like, I'm not a crier when it comes to books, which makes no sense.
Because she cries multiple times.
I'm the biggest crier in real life. Like, I cry about everything. I cry. Like, anything will send me.
You'll cry over the boys' books.
Yeah.
She'll cry when she reads a book to her kids.
Because it's all about, like, motherhood and, like,
but like kids growing those up books and not the one.
But one thing I will say, and that I've noticed, is if I read out loud, it makes it more real to me and I cry.
Yeah.
But I think it's because like in my head, because that's my biggest thing is like I'll be fine with most things, like if I'm upset about something or whatever, but then it's like as soon as I go to say it out loud, like as soon as I go to tell you or mom,
you did the same thing with Sunrise and the Reaping, right? As soon as you talked about it, you started crying.
Yeah, because like I teared up a little bit when I was reading it, but then when I went to go talk about it, then is when I was like, crying over it.
Can't relate.
Yeah,
headaches from crying a bit over books.
But it's just so odd. Is anybody else like this? Like, why do I not cry when it comes to books? And like people will be like, oh, like, what's a book that made you cry? Like, I want to cry. And so I'm like, maybe I should just read one of those and see if it works for me. But then I'm like, I don't know if it will. Because, like,
I just don't see it happening.
Yeah.
Try to read the last letter and see what happens.
Yeah.
Because everyone cries to that. The next question is a book that made you happy, which I'm like, what, every single book I read because I enjoy reading?
Yeah, I loved... Like, it's all the same things I've already said because it's my 5 stars of the year. It's like... Well, I will say right now, ACOTAR is making me very happy.
Yeah, I was going to say Addicted right now is making me really happy.
This is what I needed. I needed to do a reread.
It's
and
just like...
It's so funny because it's like
you're going back home.
Yeah, it's like going back home. Or like, you know, like rewatching a favorite movie. Like, it's like that. But I feel like it's making me want to reread all my other favorite books. Like, it's like I'm looking at Assistant to the Villain on my shelf, and I'm like, oh. I'm looking at Fourth Wing, and I'm like, oh. Like, I'm looking at Throne of Glass. I'm like, oh, that's a commitment, though. But I'm like, I just want to reread stuff now because also, it's just so fun to, like...
Missing that feeling.
Yeah, missing the feeling. Also, like, read... Like, discovering things that you didn't notice or, like, you forgot or, like,
because you know the end results, you're, like, looking out for things and finding connections that you couldn't before.
Yeah. Like, I saw a TikTok, and it was, like, about Heir of Fire, and it's, like, when Rowan punches Aelin in the face, and I was like, why don't I remember that? And I'm like, I want to reread it. I don't know why I forgot it.
My gosh.
I just, like, did. Yeah, once I saw it, I was like, okay, now I remember. But, like, it wasn't, like, on the forefront of my mind.
Think about that every day.
But I'm like, now I want to reread it. I don't know. It's nostalgic.
Okay. Most beautiful book you've bought so far this year?
Like the cover?
Yeah.
Huh. I bought all my books this year. I started
which one's your favorite?
Yeah, I started my bookshelf. Like, I have never been a book buyer. But I started buying myself trophies of my favorites this year. Yeah. I don't know. I don't feel like any of them.
I think I'm going to say some of the ones that I think are the most beautiful are... I just bought the Belladonna series, and I got the UK covers. And if you look them up, they're really pretty to me. Like, it's like plants and, like, flowers, florals, and, like, each one of them has, like, an animal. But it's just done in such a good way.
I feel like the prettiest books I've bought this year is the special edition of the Hunger Games books. Those are really pretty. I think it's my first time buying like a special edition, so I really like those. Those are pretty to me. And then also, I haven't read them yet, but the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, like we bought the UK version specifically because I just like if you've seen the American version, go look up the UK version because they're so much prettier.
Nothing compared.
And so
they don't compare to each other. Yeah, I think those are the three.
Yeah.
All right, we have one last question, and it's what books do you need to read by the end of the year? I'm going to say all those new releases.
Yeah.
Like Soul Searching, Accomplice, but like maybe books that are already out.
Yeah, like, okay, so I have books on my shelf that I haven't read yet, like The Six of Crows and Ember and Ashes and When the Moon Hatched and Once Upon a Broken Heart series. Like, those are... Oh, and Shadow and Bone. So, like, those are series that I haven't picked up yet, but they've been on my TBR forever. So, and then I will say, like, One Dark Window's been on my TBR forever, and that's our book pick of the month. So I'm so glad that it's gonna like force me to pick it up.
I really want to read it.
I think
we're gonna love it.
I know. I think I'm gonna love it because I was like making the like graphic to post.
And you were so excited.
It was like y'all are watching this later, but it was today that we posted that, and so I was like having to look up the details a little bit. So because if you look at our post, I'll like do little things like of what the tropes are and stuff, and it was like I googled like what are the tropes for One Dark Window, and it was like there's a small portion of it where it's like fake dating, but I'm like that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I've never seen
like it's they have like a common goal and they have to like pretend at one point, and so and there's like other little things. It says enemies to lovers, which I didn't put on there because some people say like
that's spoiling.
No, like it's not true enemies to lovers. It's more like they're just not really supposed to be together, but it's not like full forbidden or whatever. I don't know. So I was like, I'll leave that one trope out, but
yeah,
I'm really excited to like actually dive into that.
Yeah, I'm gonna say some that I'm like hoping to get to by the end of the year are like Shadow and Bone. I really want to read that. I really want to read lately I've really been wanting to read the Mistborn or the Legendborn series. Also Harry Potter. I really want to read that.
Oh yeah.
Like I wanted to read that last year, and I'm just hoping this year I actually get to it.
Yeah. But
honestly, there's so many. Like every book I could be like this, or like Red Rising, Heartless Hunter. Like
oh yeah.
There's so many. Dance of Thieves, Shatter Me. I just want to read everything.
There's so
Serpent
many
in the Wings
books.
of Night. Like I just my whole team like want to read at this point.
Serpent in the Wings of Night was so fun.
Yeah, I bought that one, so I want to read it eventually.
That was my first Serpent in the Wings of Night was my first like vampire book since like Twilight probably.
Did you read that before Bride?
Yeah.
Oh.
And so I was like so fun. To be back in like a little vampire world.
I know. That's what I was telling Faith the other day on Instagram.
It's like trials.
What?
It's trials.
Yeah.
And so it's like
everything's trials nowadays.
I know, but it's like they're like competing. They're like trials that they sign up for voluntarily.
Yeah.
And so it's a little bit different in that aspect. And I don't know, it was just she's like the one human and they're all vampires. So it was like
I don't know, there's something like I was telling Faith the other day on Instagram. I got like a recommended post and it was about like an indie author, and she like wrote this series and like there's vampires in it, and like the covers are really pretty too. But I just got like so intrigued and like I immediately went to Goodreads to look at them, and then like some people are rating it awful, but I'm like, I'm so intrigued, I just want to read it. Like I don't want to let people's bad opinions sway me from it, because like it just seems intriguing, and like I don't know, vampires are fun. Like it reminds me of the Vampire Diaries and stuff like that, and
I feel like that's the only way we're gonna find like new stuff. And then also it's just like I think about like books that are our favorite and we go look at the reviews and they still have those, and I'm like, okay, everybody's gonna have a negative opinion, and we tend to like I have to like take what everybody says with a grain of salt, because we tend to not rate things as negatively as other people. So but that's where we're at with our mid-year check-in. Tell us about your reading goals. Where are you at with it? Like, how are you feeling? What's your best book you've read so far this year? I want to like, it's like, so we always say it, like you literally just said it, like we want to read so many things, but it's just like, how are we going to get to them all?
And it's like, we're going to have that our whole life. We're never going to read all the books.
Which is so fun to know that like we're never going to read everything. We're never going to be out of stuff to read. Like,
that's what I was talking about one time, like with movies. I feel like there's only so many, and like the turnover rate for movies is so
way
long.
Slower,
and like the amount of people actually making movies is way less than the amount of people writing books. I think, like, don't quote me on that, but it seems like it.
But like the quality, like when it's like a book, the quality could be so good still, but like with a movie, like the production, like the camera quality, like that stuff affects how you view it.
So like we have so many books, and like we're never running out, because there's always new things and new authors and people try, and like like it's just so fun. Like if you're like, why is there no more movies, or why is there no good shows, like just pick up a book, because then you have like so many worlds to get into, and it's never ending. Anyways,
that's that. So next week, tune in and we'll be talking about the Hunger Games.
So excited for that.
Oh, we should put like a question box up about like,
we should
like your thoughts on Hunger Games and stuff, or
we should do that.
We should put like for each book.
True.
And then we can like break it down and stuff.
Yeah,
because we want to like dive in. I'm gonna have to like do a little obviously I can't do a reread. I just reread it last year, but I want to like
make sure we talk about a few things
my mind.
Then, besides that, make sure you join our Fable Book Club and read One Dark Window with us. Last month was really fun. We had a lot of people interacting, and it's just kind of fun to read with people, and like you're all kind of experiencing the book at the same time together.
Shield of Sparrows, like at the end, like because it's the first of a trilogy, so of course you're gonna end on a cliffhanger. Like at the end, it was just fun. Like in the group chat
everyone was
of
like,
the Fable, everybody was like, "What is going on?" And like, so it was just so fun. But join the club, and it's also, again, we said it, but it's on Kindle Unlimited. So if you have that, go
available to you,
get it, because it's easier to read. You don't have to wait for it on Libby or anything, or buy it. But that's that.
See you next week, or
we always do this next week. Listen to us next week. Bye.